Today on the program, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party, expressed anger and agony over U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken's call to Tinubu, just as the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammadu Sa'ad Abubakar III, says nothing can stop Tinubu's inauguration. And later on, we'll share this with you. Apapa, that's a politician, denies receiving 500 million naira to destabilize the Labour Party, just as Obi watches party factions clash at the Presidential Tribunal. I'm hanging out with Babajide Otitoju, the one they know as BKO. I greet you.
Good evening, citizen.
And we are joined by Adewale Adeoye. I greet you too.
Good evening. Nice to see you again.
So now you see the team is ready. I hope you are. Okay, let's go. You know, our first story. Now, as the country gets set for the inauguration of the president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the situation in the camp of the opposition is sullen and depressing. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the Labour Party have expressed anger over the telephone conversation between the American Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, and Tinubu. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is disappointed by the development, describing it as demoralizing. Meanwhile, the leader of the Muslims in the country and Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammadu Sa'ad Abubakar III, has let it be known that nobody can stop Senator Tinubu's inauguration. I agree to Jide.
Yes, it's time to begin to agree, because it's inevitable.
Yeah, regardless of the case in court?
That's the way it has always been. The Constitution does not say because a case is in court, somebody should not be sworn in.
Okay.
You are here when we discuss that being in the Senate for one whole year, despite the fact that he had benefited from a rigged election. He still enjoyed the Senate for one whole year before McCarthy took his place, you know. So it's not something that began today. And some of the people shouting today that, oh, it should not be inaugurated is born out of hatred, not anything else. Because since 1999, that has always been the case. And we can't remember some of those people making all this noise, making similar noise some years back. At that time, they didn't feel it was anything wrong. But because the person who won the election is not somebody that they wanted to see win the election. It's somebody that they predicted would never get close to winning the election. They thought in the North, for example, everybody would just vote for Atiku because he's from the North. But the people of the North do not reason like that. You know? So, at the end of the day, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is the winner of the February 25 election.
So declared by the INEC?
He is the winner. He is the winner. Before INEC declared it, people had their situation rooms. They had the results. It was Fashola that coordinated the situation room of the APC. There is no politician who did not have that result, who did not know who had won.
Okay.
Because that's what they do in their situation rooms. Before before APC's loss of Kaduna was announced, there was a super agent of the party inside the hall who called me to say, look, we have lost Kaduna. To my shock, because I thought they would be able to win Kaduna.
Expectedly.
Yes. So INEC just announced the inevitable. Bola Ahmed Tinubu won that election. Remember John Ekiti, the US diplomat, he came out to say, look, Bola Tinubu won this election without a shadow of a doubt. Because he had the ground game, he had the countrywide network, and he had the resources.
The population.
Some people, they were abusing him. You know, we have a talent to sit on Twitter and abuse people. We are looking like, when it comes to trolling people, Nigeria is looking like the world's #1. ordinary matter of cooking, they are abusing the Indian woman.
Yeah.
Because a Nigerian had the guts to try, So, but that is not even.
Wale no put mouth to.
Now, that is not even the issue. This matter, the Americans, you must respect them for their methods. America was not in a hurry to criticize, to congratulate Tinubu.
Yeah.
How many people were happy about that? And they were accusing the APC of shopping for recognition over an election that Asiwaju won hands down. In the end, what did we see? The number 4 man by hierarchy in the U.S. If anything happens to the president of the U.S., by succession, the Secretary of State is the number 4 man. He can get to that seat depending on what happens. He has now spoken for the American state, for the country called America. And the good thing is, it wasn't Bola Ahmed Tinubu that made that call.
Okay.
It was Blinken.
Apparently, they had been on speaking terms before now.
No, they were not on speaking terms.
Oh, really?
Yes. Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not call. The American Secretary of State called him. Because for America, it is their interests that matter. And the interest of America is a prosperous Nigeria. A Nigeria that the U.S. will want to do business with consistently. And you can see the promises that he's making. And Bola Tinubu was happy. Bola Tinubu said, "Thank you, America, because you gave me asylum during the military era when my life was in danger." And he also recalled that he was in school in America where he passed with flying colors. These are not things that some people like to hear, but that is the reality. So this is significant because they did not even talk about the election. It's not America's business. People fail to realize that, look, the election in your country is the internal affairs of your country. And the Americans know.
State.
Yes, and the Americans know that there's no perfect election somewhere. If it was perfect, why did what happened in Florida happen? When they had to do a manual recount, and they never counted to the end before the president was declared.
Okay. Wale, so did you see anything like this coming?
Well, I think when you have a kind of election like this, the opposition will start with denial, then rejection, it will follow by doubt, and then acceptance. I think we are in the era of acceptance now because it's just a few days before the inauguration. When we were in the age of denial, some people even said the president-elect did not even attend any school in the U.S. and the U.S. will not even accept him as the president-elect, that in fact is wanted in the U.S. So all sorts of stories. But I know that as a member of the June 12 movement.
So in politics, especially in Africa, you expect things
all
like
sorts of things and all that. But history will clarify, history will unfold the truth, with the passage of time. And that's what we are seeing. Because I remember that in the days of June 12 struggle, the president there was very close. He worked closely with the State Department, And even as governor of Lagos State for 8 years, he worked closely with the State Department. So it's not strange, to most of those officials that are there.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably he might met many of them in the course of, his diplomatic career. And they know him. They have worked with him at different levels, even in sub-regional levels, So it's not a stranger to them. And I believe that, the State Department made a statement few days after the election, which was issued by Ned Price, the State Department spokesperson, who said they were happy about the result of the election and they were ready to work, looking forward to working with Nigeria. The president of China, Xi Jinping, already congratulated the president-elect. The UK Prime Minister actually said he looks forward to seeing the president-elect in April next year when they'll be having African Economic Summit. And many other presidents, all over Africa and all that. So, in terms of law, when there's an election and the winner has been declared, it's no longer subjected to the wishes of individuals. The law says that when the president is declared by INEC, that president has to be sworn in. Don't forget that in the US, when they had the last election, there were riots. People invaded the state, the National Assembly and all that. And but at the end of the day, would Nigeria have issued a statement saying that they will wait until it was resolved before they will congratulate Biden, Joe Biden? Or look at Brazil. After the election, there was protest and all that. America did not wait and say, okay, until you resolve it. In fact, the man who caused that riot is in trouble now in Brazil. So there are sort of desperation. It's even more, suicidal in Africa. People see election as a do or die affair.
Yeah.
It's either a win or the election is not credible.
That's it.
But we should not forget that, governance is a long distance race. The president will be there for 8 years. Even the person that is leaving now contested for how many times? 3-4 times before he won. So if you did not win today, the future is there for you. And for P2B, this is his first time. And I think he should also realize that the future is there for him. He has age on his side. He can still rule this country in the future. So we should not destroy everything at this moment because the future will beckon at one point or the other. So the message coming from the US is part of his own tradition of bilateral relations, diplomatic relations. Nobody can change it overnight, not even bidding. Okay. So the message sent to the phone call with President-elect is normal.
Okay. Yeah. The second leg of the story is that the head of Muslims in the country, and by definition, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sa'ad Abubakar III, says the inauguration of the president-elect on May 29 is a fait accompli. So, who is against it?
Yeah, people is against it. So many people. You are aware that some people have gone to court to waste their time. And why am I saying to waste their time? Because they don't know the law. If you are not a contestant in an election, you cannot challenge the winner of the election.
The outcome.
Otherwise, all of us, we can get up here. Everyone with a rush of blood to the head can get up to say, oh yeah, I'm going to the court. We can keep the courts busy to say we don't want Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be sworn in. But the law is clear. If you are not a contestant, you cannot challenge the outcome of the election. Individuals can just get up and say, okay, this person emerged, he didn't score 25% in Abuja, therefore he should not be president. Because I've never seen anything as ridiculous as that. To imagine that votes in our country, so that some votes are more superior to other votes in our country. Abuja, what's in Abuja that will make Abuja more significant than any Nigerian state? What is it? Very small.
But the current president didn't win Abuja, 25% in Abuja, but he was declared.
We are saying the same thing, that people are going to court because of that. Are you not aware that some people are going to court?
Oh, yeah.
On that basis. Some are saying, oh, he's a drug baron. He should not be president. Oh, is this, is that, is this, is that. Time will resolve all of these issues, but those deliberately heating up the polity just because they hate the individual who has emerged. You are an individual. The country is made up of millions of individuals. Your opinion cannot be superior to the opinion of millions of other people. In democracy, the majority will have their way. The majority, and who scores the highest is the winner. It doesn't matter whether the totality of votes of the opposition is higher than that of the person who eventually won. That's not how democracy runs.
Yeah.
You can have 100 people contesting for an election. When they tally the votes of 100 people, definitely it will be higher than that of the person who eventually won. It doesn't take away the fact that that person has won the election. So the Sultan is sending this message because as we move closer and closer to the inauguration day, you can see even the military is warning people. The IG spoke the other day. He said he's aware that some politicians are doing their best to make sure that that day does not happen. So the Sultan has simply sent a message because our constitution does not allow for President Buhari to stay in office even by one day.
That's it.
Governors, too, are not permitted to stay one day longer in office. They have to leave. So those suggesting, because we've had, among some other senseless suggestions, we've had people say President Buhari should remain in office, that Tinubu should not be inaugurated, Buhari should remain in office. That is the same Buhari that they've always hated, though, that they told us had died a long time ago, was cloned, that is a certain Jibrin. In their hearts, Nigeria set a record by producing the first human being that was cloned. Yet we are not the center of excellence for global medicine. You can see oddities happening in our time, in this period, just because of an election.
Natural?
It's not natural, it's abnormal. It's an aberration. Abhorrent behavior. This is what we are seeing. And so the Sultan, as a leader, has come out to say, look, perish the thought that this inauguration will not take place. You should be praying for the incoming administration.
Yeah, to succeed.
Yes. I was at an event in Abuja the other day organized by Ronsewe, and I said, look, we should be praying. Because if this man doesn't get it right, we are in trouble. We are already at the edge of a cliff. Whoever does not know that does not know anything. We are at the edge of a cliff already as a country. A government that is coming in, we must do our best to make sure that that government succeeds. I'm happy that the Americans are leading the way.
It has no choice.
Americans are leading the way. They're already saying, look, make sure your government is inclusive. Because you can see how sensible the Americans are. If Tinubu runs an inclusive government, tension will come down in our country. Before now, we had also been pleading that let him run an inclusive government, a government that carries everybody along, including his enemies, including people who did not wish that he would get there. Once you become president, you are the president of all, you are the father of all.
Yeah.
So the Americans are advising him, they say, run an inclusive government. It's a very good advice. Even if the president-elect was not thinking along that line, the fact that Blinken has suggested it should send a clear signal that they mean well. They want a Nigeria that works.
They are interested
in a Nigeria that works for everyone. That is the thing.
Yeah. Well, so I hear anything is possible in politics. One of them is this.
Yeah.
The inauguration will not take place.
Yeah, it's also a way to cover up, a lot of, because a lot of lies have been blown up. The U.S. can never talk to him. He has never took picture. He has never been to the U.S. for a very long time. They don't even want him. But those lies have been blown up. The Americans have called to say, look, we are congratulating you. You are the president of Nigeria. We look forward to working with you. So many lies that people have, pushed in the past. Those lies are being demolished with the passage of time. And they don't like it, So that's why when you are...
That's why they are in agony.
Yeah, so when you are in politics, try as much as possible to be honest. Because even when you deceive people you can't deceive them for too long. Yeah. At the end of the day, your lies will be blown up.
As we said yesterday, the African proverb is, you don't have to be tall to see the moon.
Yeah.
You are seeing these things. They are there. So why try to cover the moon from a short man who has seen it?
Yeah.
Well, how many days to go? 29 minus 18.
We have just 2 Mondays to go.
Yeah.
After the next Monday, the next one.
Yeah.
And
so we are almost there.
We are moving inexorably close to the D-Day, and that D-Day will happen. My concern, my desire is to see a Nigeria where things work.
Yeah.
Where even our children, a lot of our children today, they've lost hope. They are very angry. And Peter Obi came to harvest the anger, But Nigeria can work again. When we talk about Nigeria, where we used to be, some people don't believe. You say, what? You mean Nigeria used to be this? You mean Saudi leaders used to come to receive Medicare in Nigeria at UCH?
No, you remind them of Professor what's it, Chinua Achebe's book, there was a country. Jide, there was a country in this country.
Yes.
And I saw it.
There was a country. And look, tell your son how much you paid for a meal in the university.
50 kobo.
Do they even know what is 50
with
kobo?
a ticket.
Have they seen anything like 50 kobo? Because these children came in Naira when the Naira had already been bastardized. So they didn't lay their hands on coins. And they didn't lay their hands on 50 kobo when it was in paper form.
Jide, to think that
Abi?
In college,
there was a time when 50, when it was in paper form.
It was a note. It was a note.
Yes.
A small note. And Wale, I remember my father used to send postal orders to me.
Sure.
I will take the orders to the post office, exchange the thing for Naira.
Yes.
For money, you know.
Yes.
It cannot happen again.
Lunch of voucher. You want to eat, you.
There was meal
Lunch of
voucher.
voucher, you know.
There was fuel voucher.
And,
there was fuel voucher too.
At Unila, you had a full shaking for 4 students in the university in those days. Full shaking for 4 students.
Chicken where they tumble.
Yeah. London, from Lagos to London, about 300 naira. So we had good times.
And there were people then, I was told in Kano, who would get up in the morning and say, look, I want to
Spend the
eat
weekend.
my lunch in London. And they will get into the aircraft. They've gone to London.
How much was
the
the fare?
airport in Kano was very active. Even when I was a correspondent in Kano, you see the big airlines, Swiss Air, KLM, all of them were always coming to Kano.
And the Naira, Jide and Wale, the Naira was exchangeable at the other end.
Yes, and it was stronger.
It was stronger.
It was stronger than the dollar.
No, in those days there was this talisman, Indian talisman. You send naira to the postal, post office to India, cash naira, 6 naira. You send it to India, they would cash it in, you want to spend it in India. Indians were coming here to work as teachers in secondary schools.
My maths teacher was an Indian.
So,
my English teacher
things
at
have gone
Baptist
terribly
Academy
bad.
was an Indian, Mr. Abraham. I can't forget it. I can't. So, put simply, there was a country in this country.
Yes.
And that country can be redeemed.
It's possible.
It's possible.
If we have like 3 cycles of elections that deliver the right leadership, honestly, people will forget that Nigeria used to be this bad. 3 cycles of elections. Let the right caliber of leaders succeed one another. Honestly, it will all go. It takes a leader to set us on the right path. Once that is done, and we are on that trajectory of consistent success, growth, and development, there is no way that the leaders coming behind, even our taste in terms of what we demand from anybody contesting an election will have changed inevitably. The things that we ignore these days, we will not ignore. We will interrogate leaders because we want to ensure that the quality of the leader coming will match, if not surpass, the
outgoing one.
Yes. So that's how you begin to grow as a country. So these are our wish that, look, things are bad, but this man is our wish that he will come, he will change things.
Right many wrongs and set us.
He will not allow himself to be distracted by politicians, because there are some politicians out there. Yes, they will say, I spent money for Asiwaju's election. I contributed to Asiwaju's election. But that does not mean that they deserve to be ministers. That does not mean that they deserve to take key positions in the administration. It is the best that should serve in that administration. In fact, when people see the quality of the cabinet, they can make up their minds as to whether we are heading in the right direction.
So all told, every road will lead to Eagle Square on May 29, 2023.
Inevitably.
So no doubt about that.
Inevitably.
Absolutely. All right, we'll go on a commercial break now and we'll return shortly. Please stay with us.
something. But the most important qualification is imagination. Her reason to imagine is slay. His reason is to be the goat. Theirs is to take the beat and make it lit. They want to test edgy till it is fire. Their reason for imagination is to add riz in style. Her reason to imagine is finesse. And hers is to find what's new and bussin'. So no matter what your situation, just use your imagination.
New beginnings are always colorful. When we celebrate the start of life's journey, we marry in colors. With our proudly Nigerian Dulux paints, now available in any color. Express your world however you want it. Visit a Dulux Color Center to get any color instantly. Dulux, let's color.
Okay, then to our next story. Now, one probing question today is, why not take politics from the hands of unprofessional politicians and let the experts handle it? For a national party that was founded in 2002, the Labour Party is too experienced to be neck-deep in a crisis, if you ask me. A factional national chairman of the party, Lamidi Apapa, has vehemently denied receiving 500 million naira from any quarters in order to scuttle the case of the party at the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal. He, Apapa, has also asked the party's flag bearer, Peter Obi, to intervene in the leadership tussle. Now, Obi watched agonizingly on as the warring factions clashed at the tribunal. Is it true there's no love lost in politics? Is it true?
Well,
or there's a love lost in politics?
I think what is happening in the Labour Party should not be unexpected, though it was established in 2002. But you see, the presidential race was like somebody who wants to travel, and then you just look for any car available. You don't care whether the car has engine, whether it has extra tire, whether mechanics...
Because nobody checked?
Nobody checked whether you have worked on that vehicle to ensure that I can go on that long journey. I think the Labour Party members didn't do diligent work. They just rushed into that election. The presidential election, look for a candidate, and the focal point was on the presidential election, not on state election. Not if we had the one was just because of Peter Obi. So the party, in terms of internal dynamics, was not well positioned, to deal with the issue of presidential election. So a lot of things were done in a hurry without passing through due process. And I think that is the result of what you are having now. People can come up with all sorts of things that, oh, he has taken 500 million and also, but the reality is that there are two major factions, in Labour Party now. And if care is not taken, it's going to affect the prospect of their success in this election. Because you cannot go, to this kind of election petition tribunal divided, where you are not even sure who is the party chairman. So, you see, and I am not happy about what happened at the court, because first I felt there should have been more security provided. They probably could have wounded that man or even probably killed him. I don't expect that kind of huge crowd at the appeal court. I felt there should have been enough intelligence gathering by the security forces to know that this kind of thing will happen, so that they should have made precautions to ensure that this kind of crowd were not allowed to come to that court. And I'm also not happy that the P2B was there when this kind of thing happened. It's not good for the image of the party and also for the image of the Labour Party presidential candidate.
Yeah.
And I hope that the security agents, because I think the case has been adjourned to Friday, will ensure that this kind of thing will not happen again.
Yes.
So you have to take precautions. Because if both sides decide to mobilize their supporters, they might even attack the judges. There could be violence, there could be anything.
Chaos.
So we have seen the signals now. And I hope the security people will ensure that only lawyers and those whose presence, is relevant, to the case should be allowed to enter the court premises.
Jide, too early in the day for the Labour Party to belly ache.
My worry is that they have not picked up valuable lessons from the past. Labour Party once broke into two.
Before now?
Yes. Today we have Zenith Labour Party. It used to be part of this party.
Yeah.
So crisis is not new in Labour Party. People coming to say, oh, somebody must have taken money, or it's APC who are behind this crisis. I mean, it is this party.
Of course, both the PDP and APC did that.
They too have had their own crisis. That's the point. It is for Obi to show leadership. You are popular with your party members. Step in and solve this problem. Call them and say, gentlemen, look, this is embarrassing enough. Let's...
see the sword.
Yes. I've not seen concrete steps that he has taken. And on a day like this, they were fighting. I learned that they even destroyed some property in the court premises. And you're just looking on.
That's it in your picture?
You know, there are more rowdy scenes than this. Maybe we didn't get it. There are far more rowdy scenes than this. You know, they were pushing this way. It would have been lynched. Papa would have been lynched if not for the security operatives who were there. The crisis, the issues that they are contesting in court, Abure is on suspension by the order of the court. And Papa is saying that in spite of the order of the court, Obi continues to work with him, see him as the party chairman. As far as Obi is concerned, until the courts decide otherwise, this is his chairman. That's the chairman who led them to those victories in the election. I sympathize with them to a large extent, but I expect them to realize that where a party begins to make progress, the kind of progress that they have made, they should not expect that contestation for power
will not come in.
Will not happen. I mean, it's foolhardy to think that, oh, it will not happen. Has it not happened in the APC? APC and PDP, they are far more organized than the Labour Party. But you can see, even within them, they can't stop crisis.
These teething problems are a given in politics?
No, in our kind of politics where once you are leader, the bulk of the perks come to you, you have resources at your disposal.
But you can go back in your mind's eyes to the Second Republic. It was not this rowdy.
But we are not in Second Republic.
Okay.
We are not in, we are more than 30 years away from Second Republic.
I thought we should have learned new tricks.
We told, even now, even under this dispensation, there are lessons that they can pick up. But they are extremely emotional. I said, okay, these people are talking about forgery, that Abure and others forged court papers to enable some candidates take part in the election, forged stamps, logos. And the court said, okay, Mr. IG, investigate. The court affirmed that it took the decision to grant that ex parte order based on the findings of the police. Why are people not talking about that? Why are people just concerned with, oh, it must have been bribed. Oh, it is APC that is behind it. Okay, when PDP had their own crisis, were they saying it was APC that was behind it? Even now in the APC, they have crisis over the choice of a presiding officer of the National Assembly. It will happen, crisis will happen. But how you get up to resolve the crisis is what really matters.
Yeah, I think the footage we are seeing seems to explain the thing more.
Maybe a bit. There were a lot of pushing. They were trying to tear his dress and all that. You know, they didn't want him to appear there. I think that obesity has work to do. I don't know who were the people who are advising. You know, you can't have a crisis like this as influential as you are, as popular as you are within your party. You are unable to put your foot down and say, okay, let's resolve this. Because the resolution may lead to...
The presidential candidate
is like the leader of the party. Is the face of the party.
That's it.
The repository of the respect of the party is the presidential candidate. People voted for that party today because of Peter Obi, not because of anyone else. How many people did Nigerians know?
Prior to now?
Yes.
So these are very interesting times. Politics, they say, you don't know a man until you give him money and power. The real him will come out.
It's not a good signal, you know, for this kind of thing to happen, you know, because the Labour Party, in order to pursue future presidential or even electoral fortunes, you know, needs to give the impression that it can manage itself better, you know, than the existing political party. It needs to give the impression that it's an organized party, and a party that is, you know, has some high level of discipline. It's not good that we're having this kind of crisis at this initial stage. And I think with the goodwill that Peter Obi enjoys at present, he needs to know how to manage it. The leadership of Labour Party, they should also have some elders, the national, you know, the neck of the
listen to.
They should have some kind of, you know, mechanism to resolve internal dispute. Because most of the time, when you go to court, you know, the court decisions may not necessarily automatically resolve the contradictions. So the OB should be able to assert his moral authority. And that means he needs to listen to both sides and realize that both sides need to lose one thing to gain, you know, something. You cannot have one side that will take all. You need to, it's give and take. So he needs to, you know, put down his authority, his moral authority, so that he can pursue. What if he cannot resolve this crisis? The potential of even making any gains in the future.
You know, as the Onyibo would say, there's a fine line between stubbornness and stupidity. At a time like this, you look at the picture and tell yourself, this is where I apply the brakes. Jidebo, Nigerian politicians don't even know there's a brake in every car.
No, the Nigerian politician is very greedy. Whether he's in the Labour Party or APC or PDP, very greedy. He thinks about himself, just himself, and members of his family. And if something will not come his way, he will prefer to bring the roof down. You will see people who lost election hands down. They will be saying that, oh, they stole my mandate. Which mandate do you have? Who stole your mandate? Can you stand before Amadioha and say that somebody stole your mandate? Can you swear before Amadioha that your mandate was taken away? You know, this is the way of the Nigerian politician.
Or Ogun.
You know those people. Somebody suggested some time ago that, look, don't give the Bible or the Quran to politicians.
Let's go traditional.
Let's go traditional. Honestly, because politicians make their loyalists to swear.
Oh, yeah.
By Ogun.
Unprintable things.
Yes. They give them gunpowder with water and all that.
They jump over coffins.
Yes, they jump over ding guns. Just even sometimes to give people 10,000 to vote for me. To be sure that you vote for them, they make you do terrible things. Those politicians, if you are to swear them in as new governors, as lawmakers and all that, and you bring those deities for them to swear by,
they no go plenty.
Even anybody, any of them who does it, will not steal money. You say, look, if you steal our people's money, this and that, you will see that our national till will be intact. They will not steal
You
they fear those gods. They fear those deities more than...
That, yeah. You know, a cynic, a cynic said, if votes really determined winners of elections, they would make a law to make it unlawful. So, but they say that's the nature of politicians, which is saying honesty is not there.
Well, it's not as if honesty has not always been there. We had honest politicians in the past.
Few are far between.
Who are, people, I mean, in the First Republic, First, Second Republic, who are out to serve the country. And you know that at the end of 4 years, even when you look at the kind of life they've lived, you know that nothing fundamentally has changed. An example is, there are so many examples.
Sorry, I still remember the late Balarabe Musa.
Balarabe Musa, I was in his house in Kaduna. You know that's a very simple man. Oh, yeah. In fact, the door was left open 24 hours. You enter, you talk to him. He was using one old Mercedes-Benz. So, people should...
The son was quarreling for a car.
Yeah.
He said, that car don't spoil, go repair and use them.
So people should know that public service is not private service. But in these days where you have people who are in the National Assembly, their children are abroad. The hospitals, they are doing budget every year for hospitals. The hospitals they are building, they can't go there. Their children cannot go there. They just visit Nigeria. They are visiting Nigeria because their families are abroad. The schools they are building, they can't send their children there. So we need to redefine, the concept of politics.
It is
if we don't do it, it's going to generate a lot of crises that will even make us to be unsafe.
Jide, the former French president, I've forgotten his name now, said it was dangerous to leave politics to professional politicians. It is playing out here. Maybe he was thinking of us. Maybe not.
The average politician is devious. He must have had that in mind, because the politician thinks of elections. He thinks of how he can get to power. And he thinks of how he can use power to enrich himself, enrich members of his family. He's not constantly thinking about public good. And this is not limited to Nigeria. Politicians will do anything to take power. But if you need power simply to make change happen, real change happen, you won't get desperate the way politicians get desperate. So I don't know how much greed you can attribute to the politicians in France, but at least I know about Nigerian politicians. I know about them.
All right.
And we hope that they will turn a new leaf, and when they turn a new leaf, things will get better for our country.
No wonder they say a politician is ready to die for his interest than for what is good.
That's what I'm saying, that they are not constantly thinking about public good.
Okay. We go to our next story. Now, this is very crazy. The Middle Belt region of our country, for it, pain and agony have become second nature. Youths in the Riyom community, that's the gateway to Jos, the Plateau State capital, have done the unthinkable. They have blocked the Jos-Abuja highway with bodies of persons killed in some parts of the area by gunmen. The somber development is said to have hampered motorists and commuters who were forced to turn back to seek alternative routes to their destination. At least some 85 corpses were counted. Can we continue like this, Adeoye?
It's a very, very unfortunate, incident. When I read the story, I said, "Oh, Plateau State again," because this thing has been going on for several years, and so many years. Don't forget that a senator, was killed. I think that was 2012.
Okay.
And the majority leader in the Plateau State House of Assembly, I think that was around 2012. So it's like there's no stopping murderers.
Yeah.
From
but just a minute.
Okay.
An information here. Right now at the Federal House of Representatives, a particular member is declaring for the speakership.
Yeah.
So, but then we'll continue with our discussion here.
Yeah.
عبدك ألهج أمين ثاني جاجي رافعا إليك يديه سائلا منك الإغاثة والإعانة أن يكون رئيس مجلس الوزراء في وطن نيجيريا بقدرتك يا أكرم الأكرمين يا
There and
وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على قدير سبحان ربك رب العزة يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
We have the Christian prayer from Honorable Ibrahim Gabriel Itodo. Please keep it brief.
Our Father in heaven, the maker of the heavens and the earth, the master of the day of judgment, I pray today for the declaration of the speakership of the National House of Representatives for Right Honorable Sani Aminu Jaji. Leadership is not because of your prowess. Leadership is because of your political sagacity. Leadership is not about your resilience and your knowledge, but leadership is given by God Almighty. I pray today that the favor of God will shine on Aminu Sani Jaji for the speakership of the National House of Representatives in Jesus' name. May his will be done as we declare in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your Excellency is very distinguished aspirant to the office of the Speaker of the House of Representatives 10th Assembly. I just want to mention that whilst I did that recognition earlier on, I want to once again recognize that Honorable Betara, Aliyu Betara has just landed, and I've been told that he'll be joining us perhaps before this event is over. But then I also want to mention that he has Honorable Dixon Takiri, who is also standing in for him pending his arrival. Amongst the aspirants, we have Honorable Miriam Onoha. Right, Honorable Onoha, please give her a round of applause. He's also aspiring for the office. He's also an aspirant. We also have Honorable Sada Soli. Please a round of applause for him as well. Honorable Idris Wase is also an aspirant, but the Deputy Speaker. Please give him a round of applause. And of course, we also have Honorable Chinedu Oga. Having done these recognitions, I'd like to move on with the event proper. It is at this point in time that you're going to hear from the Director General of the Jaji Unity Project for Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives. To do this for us, I'd like to invite Honorable Prince Akirani Jagaban to please come and speak to us concerning this declaration of Honorable Aminu Sani Jaji at this auspicious time. Can we give him a round of applause, please, as he makes his way here?
Good afternoon. Distinguished senators here present. I saw a few of our senators approaching the door. I believe they will soon come back. Honorable colleagues and members-elect, distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted and grateful to welcome our guest to the Honorable Aminu Sani Jaji Declaration, the topmost job of the House of Representatives, which is the Speaker for the 10th Assembly. Today is a great day for us because we are long waited for this declaration. Because I can see other co-aspirants for the same office. Right Honorable Dr. Ahmed Idris Wase, our incumbent Deputy Speaker. Honorable Soli Sada, Honorable Miriam Onuha, the Chairman, House Committee on Appropriation, Honorable Mr. Ali Betara, ably represented by Honorable Dixie, Honorable Ade, I welcome you all to this occasion. Distinguished guests, we are all here today to give our moral support, encouragement, and encouragement to our dear friend and colleague, Honorable Aminu Sani Jaji, who is aspiring for the position of Speaker. We conceived Jaji's project long before it began. This is because he is competent, fast in legislative practices, and well experienced in governance. We believe in his candidature as he made his declaration today. I'm delighted to see the caliber of people here to support the Judges Unity Project. It shows that we have hope indeed. Honorable colleagues and members-elect, we need leaders with credibility. We need leaders that are capable of fostering a harmonious relationship between the arm of government and the man that confidently achieve this is no other person than Right Honorable Aminu Sani Jaji. I call him the strategist. Honorable colleagues and members-elect, let's elect someone who can work with Bola Ahmed Tinubu as Asiwaju-led administration. And that the president did not endorse any candidate for the post of speakership. No, not at all. I'm appealing to the leadership of our great party, APC, to please look inward and allow a smooth contest be what was said by our national chairman of this great party, APC, that the process is going to be reviewed and allow a free and fair contest for the post of Speaker of the House. Also, we all know what the party stands for as an equity, fairness, justice, and unity for all. I want to let you know that I was once a member of the National Caretaker Committee of our great party, APC, in which I worked tirelessly for. I'm calling on our fathers, leaders, and the president-elect to ensure justice, fairness, and equity for wide consultation in order not to be misled and misguided in the Sunni arrangement. While appealing to the party leaders to respect the Constitution, they are also to be fair. They should allow the member-elects to choose without interference. Therefore, my honorable colleagues and member-elects, we all believe in the renewed hope agenda of fairness, credibility, resourceful innovation, and development. I'm appealing that we should come out in our numbers to support and vote for Right Honorable Aminu Sani Jaji. Honorable Prince Olaide Akiremi Jagaban. Thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you very much. The words of the Director General, Dan Lako, Ali Hakuri. Akwai members elect da sunan basu da wajen zama. Shi sa muna ta roko dan Allah wayanda ba su ba members bane. Dan adam ba su wajen zama mana. Nan cikalila su da za su zabe su fa. Su ne za su zabe shi. Ba ko bane. Ko ɗan koyon baya ne ko ba gaskiya ba. Dan Allah mu yi zakuri a ba members wajen zama. For your kind understanding. We have said the first, second, third, and fourth rows are reserved up to the sixth, reserved for honorable members and members-elect. Thank you very much. At this point, we'd like to move on very quickly because time is of the essence. We have quite a good number of our aspirants seated already, and having listened to the introductory remarks by the Director General of the Jaji Unity Project, in the person of Honorable Prince Akinremi Jagaban, we will now be taking goodwill messages. And the very first goodwill message, hello, please, Allah. The very first goodwill message is going to be coming from one of our own, an aspirant for the office of the Speaker, House of Representatives, and has made very strong waves. I'm talking about Right Honorable Miriam Onoha, to please come and blaze the trail with a goodwill message. Can we give her a round of applause, please? Honorable Miriam, please. And I plead with you to take just 2 minutes, please. Stand on the existing protocols.
Thank you very much. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I want to appreciate all of us here and pass my good message to my brother, Right Honorable on this official declaration of his intention to run for the speakership on the 10th December. As a fellow aspirant, I have come as a mother and as a colleague to wish him well, just like other members of the community. Been elated and happy as we expect the incoming administration of His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. This is a clarion call to embrace this group and embrace all as his children and ensure that we have a seamless administration. Long live Nigeria. United we stand, and divided we fall. Thank you for coming. God bless you.
Thank you very much. We are actually running out of time. We're running out of time, so we decided to, I was meant to have invited some other persons that we're meant to have invited those that are not aspirants yet, before the aspirants. But then we have skipped that. She's a woman. I call her the Margaret Thatcher of the House of Representatives. She has blazed the trail, the mother of the House of Representatives. And so for that reason, we will just allow Honorable Miriam, thank you so much for your kind words. We'll invite very quickly Honorable Tinubu OON, who is vying for deputy speakership, to please come and quickly talk to us by way of giving us his goodwill message. And please keep it very brief, sir. Thank you very much.
APC, Your Excellency